Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the happiest musician. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and click subscribe for me. And of course, if you're listening to this on the Crushing Classical podcast, make sure that you are subscribed in your podcast app of choice. And this way you always know when I drop a new episode, and it makes it easier for other people to find my channel and to become themselves happier musicians. Thank you. I wanted to talk about sort of an aha moment that I had in my own life recently, a real mindset shift. And I wonder if anyone out there feels the same way that I do. So, as you undoubtedly know, I just finished a big launch for my Happiest Musician Visibility Lab. And for several weeks, many weeks, I was very actively visible and making quite a lot of effort and showing up, frequently on this podcast, showing up on socials, showing up in my email list, and doing individual reach outs, like much more than I am normally comfortable with. And it is not the case that I haven't launched things before, because I absolutely have. But this time around, it felt different, even though I had the same discomfort with showing up as much and as assertively as I was doing, even though that process felt uncomfortable in a familiar way. I found that I was able to move through that discomfort and move through that fear more confidently than I had in past years. I found that anytime I got a little bit stuck, I had support around me to push me through. I have a one-to-one coach that I've been working with for a couple of years now. I have a coaching program that I'm in that's going to expire soon, but I was enjoying it still. I have a mastermind group of business besties who are there for me and for my business. And so over and over again, when I came in and said things like, I don't know what to write about today, I don't know what's important to talk about, maybe I should just skip a day, I'm not sure what the structure of this workshop should look like. I'm not sure what my best next step is. Over and over again, somebody had my back. And some of the best things that happened during this launch came as a direct result of support that I received from one of these sources. And I found that when I got to the end of the launch, there was a little part of me that was like, wow, this was really successful and it was really fun, but you couldn't have done this alone. This only worked because you had so much support. This only worked because of the teachers and the coaches and the friends and colleagues that you were able to lean on. You didn't do this by yourself. And that's what I was thinking. This also felt like a familiar thought to me. When we are in music school, I'm going to come back to my solution, but when we are in music school, we are taught to learn how to practice by ourselves, to learn how to discern what is good and what is bad, to learn how to listen to our pieces that we're preparing, how to prepare them. My teachers have said things to me like, I can't be with you all the time. You have to be your own teacher. The point of school is to get you out on your own so that you can be a musician that doesn't need a teacher. Does this sound familiar to anybody? And for sure, I have also used this language with my own students because it's true. I'm not over their shoulder, 168 hours a week. I only see them for, 45 minutes, an hour a week, every other week. Like, I cannot solve all of their bad habits in a weekly lesson, of course. So there is an element of independence that we have to foster as teachers. But I think I took that to a weird place. And I think I took that to mean that getting support, having someone help me with what is my next step, having someone say, no, you've got this, keep going, that somehow that was a weakness, that somehow that meant that I wasn't really doing it or wasn't really qualified to run my own business myself. And when I realized how ridiculous that sounded, I really woke up. And here's what I think now. Here's what I believe. The support that is around me was not around me 5 years ago. This is something I have made happen. My mastermind group is this amazing group of people who are not actually musicians themselves. They have their own businesses. We've been working together for 5 years. We've been meeting every single week. We are deeply embedded in each other's businesses. We know what the other people are working on, and we know what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. But if I had not been showing up in this group for the last 5 years, giving support, helping, listening, coaching my colleagues, they wouldn't have been here for me during this launch. They were so there for me, but it was my actions and my presence over the last 5 years that made that possible. My coach, Lisa, is amazing. She is so helpful to me. She does things for me that I could not have imagined to do for myself. So helpful. And I'm paying her to do that. I consciously, intentionally hired my coach, and it is not a weakness to therefore lean on her support that I am paying for. This is a thing that I made happen because guess what? My brain alone is not sufficiently brainy to do everything in the world. It is amazingly helpful to have other people around me whose brains work differently than mine, who can tell me when I'm going down a weird path or make a suggestion that, breaks a workshop wide open. I didn't even name my virtual assistant, Courtney, who does all of my graphics on my social media and for the podcast. If you've seen anything of mine that looks vaguely professional and intentional, it looks like that because Courtney made it look like that. And I pay her to do that. And that is actual American dollars that I have made in my business that I am able to dole out again, that I am able to share, to let flow through me to other people who are smarter than me in the ways that I am not smart. And I don't know where I got the idea that I couldn't take credit for a launch that was the result of a lot of smart, awesome people helping me. And I wonder what this looks like for you. Is there a place in your life where you are discounting your own success because you didn't do it alone? Is there a place in your life where you have support that you are leaning on and you feel kind of like you shouldn't be? And would it be worthwhile to question that? Because here's another analogy. I cannot play a Beethoven symphony by myself. I have to be one of 50 people, 60 people on the stage. That's the only way it works. I can't play all of the oboe solos and also all of the clarinet solos and also all of the first violin parts. That would be ridiculous. If I'm practicing at home my Beethoven symphony, it is a pale shadow of what the actual experience is going to be on the stage. And no one thinks that because I cannot play an entire Beethoven symphony by myself, all the parts, that I am less of a musician or less of an oboist. It's just that that's not what an oboe does. And for you, if you have ever been buoyed by your colleagues around you in the orchestra or by your pianist or by your teacher to a performance that is better than you thought you could do, you still were the one that did it. you get to take credit for that. And the fact that you were working with that particular teacher, with these particular colleagues, these are things that happened for you because you made them happen for you in one way or another. Sometimes we are lucky. It is worth acknowledging the privilege that we have, whatever level of privilege we have. It is worth acknowledging that no one does anything alone. But it's also worth giving yourself a little bit of credit for the support that you do have and that you have put in place around you. I've said before many times that it's important to find your people, the people who support you. And I've quoted, is it James Clear who says it? A million people have said it, that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 people that you spend the most time with are all sort of mired in scarcity, are all negative about your prospects, your possibilities, like, that's a real thing. I have been in those friend groups. Maybe make some effort to put different people around you, to put more positivity, to put more encouragement, to put more smart around you in a way that you can access, because no one is doing it alone and support is available. I hope that this has felt helpful. Tell me in the comments underneath this video, or let me know by emailing me from my website, what you think of this episode, what you think of this idea. Thing that people do is to screenshot the podcast that they're listening to and share it on socials. Like, let people know if this has felt helpful to you, and let me know if it has felt helpful to you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.